Hi, I'm Julian Musson, Chief Product Officer at RevGeni. Today is the 2nd of July 2026 and it's a very exciting day because we are now building RevGeni as a platform which is operable by external AI assistants, not just UI dashboards as per traditional SaaS software. This is thanks to MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is a very powerful way of integrating AI. So the interface model is changing. Software has assumed for a long time that humans are the primary operators. However, AI assistants break that assumption and users increasingly start from an agent and expect the agent to act. So RevGeni has now shipped an MCP server that lets external AI assistants operate RevGeni through a controlled tooling layer, running on the same business logic, permissions and data model as the main product today. An example, one conversational request can drive a multi-step workflow. So there's no UI navigation, you just speak to your AI assistant, which could be Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and you speak to that AI assistant as you would do to a team, and that team works with the RevGeni agent, Stella, Maya, Hunter, Alex, to complete the task. The value is in chaining the products together. Hunter does the discovery, Stella manages the intelligent CRM and the pipeline, Maya can still generate campaigns, social posts and so on. The MCP coordinates all of these across one single workflow. The controls are in place today. Anything requiring approval from the human in the loop, so real sending out of emails, real publishing, anything that's really removing data, those actions are held back from the point of view of approval at this stage. But everything else you can do. The advantages being that your Claude or your ChatGPT, the one that you use all the time, can speak directly to a RevGeni agent. You've got the cross-product orchestration across all of the RevGeni genies, and you effectively have RevGeni inside your preferred AI assistant, your ChatGPT or your Claude, with all of the security and permissions built in. So really at RevGeni now we can say we're building the infrastructure layer for AI native revenue operations, moving from AI assisted SaaS to true AI operable platforms. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to connect RevGeni to your AI assistant of choice. I'm going to use Claude for that. So here I am in RevGeni itself. In my browser you can see I've got several organizations because I've got multiple demos. We'll probably just have so that's what we're going to connect to. So I'm going to connect to this one here. The way you do it, in Claude, you would just go to this little plus in the chat here and you would go to connectors. And I can see my various connectors that are already connected here. And what we want to do is we want to get RevGeni into that list. So what we do is manage connectors and then we click add and we're going to add a custom connector. So I'm going to call this RevGeni and I'm going to call it the name of my instance. And then in here, what I do is I take the URL of RevGeni, this part here, up to the revgeni.ai. And then I just need to add API/MCP. And that's all I need to do there, and then click add. So you can see already it's got the RevGeni logo. In order to connect to the organization, I just need to connect, and it's going to give me my list of different organizations. And the one I want to connect to is my choice performing one. If you've got multiple organizations, you'll see them in a list. You just need to click the correct one. And it's telling you what this will allow Claude to access. And what you're going to do is allow that to happen. There's another set of permissions in a moment where we're going to see what we can do automatically, as in always allow or needs approval. So the standard setting will be needs approval, which is the little hand, or you can allow with the tick, or you can block if you don't want access at all with the stop sign there. And that can be done at the level of all of these 42 actions that are across the different genies, Hunter, Maya, Stella. So if there's one that you want to always allow, in other words, you don't want Claude to ask you permission to go in and access information through the MCP, then you can cause it to allow, you can cause it to just go through without having to allow each time, or you could block it. Okay, so I'm going to just leave it as the default of needs approval for them, and then I am done. And what we now see is that RevGeni is in the list, and if I now close that down, you will see that, yep, RevGeni is here, so it's accessible, and I can ask Claude anything I want really. So if I now ask the question, hey Claude, can you tell me the number of leads I've got by stage in RevGeni's ICRM? So immediately Claude can now go and ask Stella that question, use those actions that you still listed. You didn't really need to worry about what's happening. The key thing now is that you can chat to Claude or ChatGPT and ask these questions. So because I put the permissions to check, then I'm being asked to approve that request. Otherwise, if you set it to not have to chat, then you'll not have to give the approval each time. So it's really a security permission that you can check there. So of course now Stella is telling Claude the answer. Claude is serving this up to me. All of the kind of additional intelligence that you get with Claude is now coming into the picture. And equally, we could of course work directly with Stella as we always could do previously, where we can chat with Stella. It's just that you're probably chatting with your preferred assistant, Claude or ChatGPT, all the time. So now you can update information, pull information out, run workflows, run tasks all through the assistant here.